It's Mad Men Sports.
The Mad Men.
Look at us being very consistent.
Look at us happy.
Doing our best. We are happy.
There's a reason why we're happy.
Not only because they're back-to-back AFC East champs.
And you'll be able to tell in 3 seconds.
Those damn ads.
One.
Another ad.
So
We're here for Febreze. The Febreze boys, fresh as hell.
Damn, that was smooth.
you'll be able to tell in 6 seconds.
5, 4.
Oh my God.
3.
Von Miller,
2.
baby.
Oh, Jake.
We're here to announce the Von
Another
Miller.
ad.
Von Miller
This sack
experience.
right here is something you'll be seeing all year. Not an Andy Dalton.
The Von Miller experience is coming to Buffalo, to a theater near you, an arena, a new stadium near you.
And so
He
will
won't be.
Febreze.
But I'm getting a Von Miller jersey.
Yeah, we've made that official, and I'm excited about it.
I am not. I'm getting a cowboy hat.
Von Miller signed
So you weren't
today
excited.
at 6:30, probably 6:45 at that point. I came out of the house a little late.
I was sleeping. I took a nap.
Jake was sleeping, which all good things happen when you take a nap. Stephon Diggs, I was waking up from a nap. LaShawn McCoy trade, I was waking up from a nap. Jake was taking a nap.
I was
Von
waiting
Miller.
in a car for Zach to get in the car to go to dinner when I found out Von Miller.
Good dinner.
And if that didn't happen, none of this would have happened. You're lucky I was late. I got out of work a little later. 6 years, $120 million. It really boils down to 3 years, $54 million. Chandler Jones
Welcome.
got the same amount of money. Now, let me tell you about Chandler Jones just real quick. Everyone was saying, Will Burke, everybody on Twitter and their mothers were saying, Chandler Jones for sure, Chandler Jones for sure. Dave?
Yeah, they were saying that.
No.
We hold steadfast.
Give me one of the wrongs one time.
Wrong.
Wrong. So
I haven't
wrong.
heard that in so
You
long.
should get that on here.
Wrong.
So wrong. So wrong. Chandler Jones out the door. Raiders. Pfft.
Wrong.
Whack.
No, that happened.
Yeah, no, he went to the Raiders. I was looking for a wrong. Dave's still shaking off some rust here. 2 years ago, he would have been right on top of that wrong. Wrong. We missed
Wrong.
that. Glad it's back. William wrong.
I'm looking. Look at some of these dances after a sack. They're sexy. I would take him to prom.
Dave is no longer eligible to go to prom. I can confirm that.
Look at this.
Von
Matt
Miller,
Ryan, go to hell. Here
Von
comes
Miller.
the dance. Look at that. Oh, we missed it.
the leading active sack member, 115 sacks, number one out of active players right now. The TV last week, we were worried about it being distracted for David. It is distracted for both of them. I am carrying right now. No one's a problem with that.
Monologue.
Jake is currently still taking it all in. He woke up about a half
Jake is
hour
still
ago.
seeing.
I'm in a fever dream right now. I don't even know if this is real.
We had to call him like 20
When,
times to get
when
him
Zach
up.
called Jake to tell him about Von Miller,
Yeah, he
Out of a deep sleep. by
out of
the
a
way.
deep sleep. He goes, he thought we were messing with him. So his response was, Von Miller's like 40 years old. I'm like, I think you think I'm joking.
I truly did. And
Now-
then he said O.J. Howard, and I was like,
And then he was like, oh, wait, maybe something actually did happen. Because the Bills also got O.J. Howard. 1 year, $3 million, up to $5 million. I like the deal a lot. I think that's really going to be the long term. Like, wow, I can't believe we got this guy for that deal. Von Miller is the story this week. He is going to be leading off your NFL networks, your ESPNs, your CBS Sports, your local news ads, whatever you get, your YouTube shows, wherever you consume your Bills content. Von Miller, next 48 hours at the very minimum. I would say that the Bills have been after this guy for a while. Maybe not Von Miller in particular, but the J.J. Watts, the Chandler Joneses, the Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, Mario Addison. They've been looking for a guy that can facilitate sacks and pressures for a very long time in this offense. Would I be wrong?
yes, it'd be defense.
Or
So,
for this defense, excuse
Yes.
me.
No, I got you. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, I've had to talk for the last 3 minutes by myself, so I'm doing my best.
Keep
here.
talking.
let's watch these sacks.
Yeah, no, I get it. He had 9.5 sacks last year out of 2 teams. He had 4.5 for the Broncos, 5 for the Rams.
Won the Super Bowl.
Won the Super Bowl for the second time,
So-
second franchise.
I'll say something.
Oh, thanks for cutting me off.
Three-peat.
Go ahead.
How crazy is it that we got a guy who went to a Super Bowl team who could repeat as Super Bowl champs with the team with Aaron Donald on the defensive line, that he chose, unless I'm wrong, he chose the Bills. How
He did.
crazy
He
is
wanted
that?
to come play with Josh Allen.
That would have never happened 15, 10, 5 years ago.
Go ahead and say that again, Jake, so it's not cut off.
He said, Von Miller said, that he wanted to come to Buffalo to play with Josh Allen.
He did, and that is very much true. Turn the Bluetooth on. I want to play the video that he put on Instagram. He announced that on Instagram as the
I don't know if we
Bluetooth.
have those rights.
You think we care what we have rights to?
Let me make sure I connect here. I want to make sure you guys hear
We'll keep
from us.
talking.
If you do, no, I don't believe you will.
So, is this the biggest free agent acquisition in Buffalo Bills history?
In your lifetime,
I'm not equipped to answer that because at the time, Mario Williams and screw it, T.O. were huge
T.O. is
deals.
huge.
I think this is the one that will get us that feels like it's going to get us to the promised land. I don't know if it's the biggest one. It's not the biggest feeling one,
That would be nice.
but it feels like this is the one that we needed. That'll just because earlier in the day, I mean, Zach and I were talking, and I was saying we still don't have a pass rush. It's annoying because Jerry Hughes is out there, Mario Addison's out there. They're just not bringing these guys in. And as soon as you get Von Miller in here, you don't even think about those guys anymore. Jerry Hughes could retire for all I care. Thank you for your time.
I like Jerry Hughes.
Listen, we love Jerry Hughes. The time is just now for here's the audio for the Von Miller video.
Your time is up. My time is now.
Crazy, man. Crazy 4 hours. Going back and forth, man. A lot of things that I love in LA. But I just wanted to let you know I'm coming to Buffalo. Bills Mafia. What's good? Is 40 open?
Yes, it is.
It is. Jake will be confirming that when he buys his jersey, probably by the end of the week.
The first, fuck it. I'm going to buy his jersey this week.
Where to the draft?
Word.
Listen, I love this because
Pressure's on.
I love this for so much. I love this for so many
I
reasons.
was half kidding.
You have the Von Miller, sack pressure maniac. Probably the most outside. Is he the 2000s top sack guy? Am I missing someone in my brain right now?
Well, by numbers, no. Isn't he the active leader in sacks right now?
Yeah, definitely. Is it 2010s, 2020s? I think he's definitely the lead guy. Maybe even a decade before that. Maybe Jared Allen had him on sacks. I do not know. Michael Strahan obviously had some sacks in his day.
Michael Strahan's definitely up there. Jared Allen, like you mentioned, is up there. I mean,
Maybe the Watts.
J.J. Watt's got to be up there.
But they're active, and they're not past Von Miller, and I don't think that they've been around as long or as shorter time. I think Von Miller has been around since 13 or 12.
I'll say this. I think Von Miller
10.
is on Jason Taylor's level when he was playing with the Dolphins, and he was such a big deal. I think Von Miller is just as scary as Jason Taylor.
Without a doubt. He's a guy that you have to game plan for on the defensive line. And before this, it was Ed Oliver. Now, I'm going to jump ahead of our little thing here. Also on Instagram announced today, Jordan Phillips was planning to sign with the Buffalo Bills.
I hope the Bills know that.
The Arizona Cardinals cut him at 4 p.m. And the first thing he posted at 4:02 was, "Don't worry, Mafia, I'm coming back."
He's posting all that, and Brandon Beane.
love it.
It's the last thing he has to care about right now is Jordan Phillips.
And then he posted an actual Instagram post of him in a Bills jersey saying, "Thank you to the Arizona Cardinals for changing my life. But the heart wants what the heart wants. If he's not coming back, I don't know."
he's going to be in a deep depression.
That's a really, really bad situation on Instagram if we don't see Jordan Phillips.
Shaq Lawson seems to think he was back like 2 weeks ago.
That's what I
We're
said.
putting the band back together,
I'm
boys.
putting my Shaq Lawson jersey next to my Chandler Jones jersey and I'm fucking retiring them. Oh, I love that Shaq Lawson saga.
That's a train wreck.
But it's funny because I also asked Zach earlier,
So is Baker Mayfield.
who was the last player that had close to double-digit sacks in the Bills? And you'll be shocked to know it was Jordan Phillips.
Jordan Phillips 9.5 in 2019. I want Jordan Phillips back real bad. At this point, at 4:00, I was like, that's the guy I want. If he's coming to the Bills, right on, because that is a difference maker. You put him next to Ed Oliver.
Good star off this heavy team.
You're getting pressure in the middle of the defense. You're going to bring around Greg Rousseau. And, I said, okay, put him with Clowney. Dave made fun of me and said, that's how low we are. Clowney? Well,
I did.
Well, I guess we got Von Miller, so now good luck. Because Greg Rousseau is going to take a step this
Because
year.
right after Chandler Jones, Von Miller wasn't discussed, Zach says, well, we got Clowney out there. I'm like, all right, we're reaching at this point. The Bills people on Bills Mafia Facebook page is like, oh, let's get any guy that's cut. Bills reach, like, oh, let's go negotiate.
You putting me in that pool?
No.
Yeah.
But Clowney hasn't done anything in years.
He's a good run stopper. He's always been.
I want someone to get the quarterback.
Let's hear this. So obviously we know the Buffalo Bills defensive line loves to turn
Rotate.
players, rotate. Do we
I
see
think we
Von
see
Miller
less of
rotate?
that. I think we see less of that with him.
Yeah.
He might be your cornerstone guy. However, I think that maybe listen. We already know we'll say it outright. He will not see 6 years with the Bills, but maybe you see him extended in his career a little bit longer by maybe not this year. Maybe even earlier in the season. You're not keeping him in as many snaps. You're rotating him a little bit further. But then maybe to extend his career, extend his health out a little bit further, maybe you start seeing him rotate less
And win 4 more Super
Probably
Bowl
ebbs and
rings.
I have an odd/fun question for you. So,
I love it.
who is the leader of the defense now? Because how is it not Von Miller?
He's probably like the spiritual leader. I still think they are putting everything in the hands of Tremaine Edmonds in terms of
So we have 2 captains. Who are they? Because you don't
Probably
Poyer
Micah
and
Hyde
Hyde
and
aren't taking a
Edmonds.
seat.
probably Edmonds and Hyde.
It's an interesting question, though, isn't it?
That is an interesting question.
There's a lot of star power on
We
this
got-
defense now.
Boys. It's March. Let's calm the F down. We don't know what we're going to see.
Jordan Phillips.
We don't know. The Brandon Bean doesn't even remember Jordan Phillips. He's like,
Who's this guy that keeps saying he's on my team?
He's walking up to him in the Galleria Mall saying, "Hey, Mr. Bean. Oh, hey, you. What's going on?"
I would love to see Jordan Phillips
Security
back,
is going to be kicking Jordan Phillips out of one Bills drive tomorrow.
Yeah, I want Jordan Phillips back real bad because I think he becomes the pressure maker for that. Like I said, 9.5 sacks. Okay, we're good. 9.5 sacks the last time he was here. Got the bag with Arizona, and like he said, Arizona changed his life. What the heart wants, what the heart wants. The heart wants the Buffalo Bills. Players are trying to get here now. How did this happen? Let's talk about it a little bit. We got to unfold the Von Miller news. Micah Hyde restructured his contract, created about $4.5 million of cap space.
Blessed.
Matt Milano made almost all of his contract bonus to restructure it.
He's at Pharaohs right now.
He probably got $6 million off the cap space. Mitch Morse moved his money around. He probably got $4 million right there.
He's not at Pharaohs.
No, he's a family man. I like Mitch Morse. Said
though.
this week
Solid guy. Wants to
retire the Buffalo Bills. How else did it happen? John Feliciano cut.
blessed.
Monday morning, Darrell Williams cut, which there was some rumblings that they were going to bring him back. I do not see that happening at all. If they were going to bring him back, just keep him at the money. You're going to keep him at the dead money. You're not going to pay him twice. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have that double cap hit.
I feel
We'll
that.
get to what his replacement is in just a second. They tendered Rick Bates. People call him Ryan Bates. His nickname is Rick Bates in our country. They tendered him. I plan to see him back.
Call him master.
I see him coming back at the right guard position. At your left guard, Dave thinks this is the bigger signing, which I go back and forth on this. Roger Saffold, which Pro Bowler last year, got to learn from Deion Dawkins about the Bills in the Pro Bowl because he was a Pro Bowler last year at the left tackle position. They were penciling him in. This is your offensive line from the Madmen. You got
Yes.
Deion Dawkins at left tackle, Roger Saffold left guard, Mitch Morse center, Rick Bates at right guard today. People are putting in Cody Ford. I still think Rick Bates, even though I don't think Cody Ford's completely dead, and I've gone against him many times.
Ford, why is he being discussed?
Go keep going.
Cut his ass.
Spencer Brown at the right tackle. Now, we'll move over a little bit. Tight ends. Dawson Knox, your number one tight end, going to have to re-sign him next year.
Yup.
Maybe an underscore. We mentioned it earlier. O.J. Howard signed today with the Buffalo Bills. Former Alabama standout, first-round pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Quarterback Jalen Hurts in college.
Yeah, he played with Hurts, Calvin Ridley, Robert Foster, a name we know,
My guy.
Bo Scarborough, and Josh Jacobs. Good offense there. You know, Alabama, and he stood out amongst the bunch there. I think that's something to note of. Played in Tampa. I don't think Tampa ever put any effort into getting anything out of him. We know that the Brandon Bean organization is willing to pump time into putting talent into these players.
I will say I did some research on O.J. Howard after we signed him. Him and Bruce Arians bumped heads so much that he was benched 3 games.
Wow. But I think that is more Bruce Arians being
When I
an
saw
asshole.
it was more Bruce Arians, not
Usually the case from what I keep hearing.
Didn't Bruce Arians like punch one of his team?
maybe Antonio
Yeah,
Brown.
Antonio Brown. That's why he quit halfway through the game.
Oh, yeah.
If I can, O.J. Howard is like, to me,
Yeah,
the Emmanuel. When was the last time the Bills had 2 starting potential
never.
tight ends?
I can tell you that throughout the Bills' history, they've barely had one.
So O.J. Howard is like the
Shanahan.
double threat. He's going to make you forget about Emmanuel Sanders real quick, and he's the cushion for like Dawson Knox, and like the offense is going in a different position now because you don't need 4 receivers on the field at the time. You have the double threat of O.J. Howard and Knox, and I'm pretty sure O.J. Howard can also run block too, which is awesome.
Put it this way, the red zone got a little bit more lethal.
Something that was already very lethal.
Absolutely. And then we talked about Isaiah McKenzie re-signing for chump change. His cap hit's like 1.2. It ended up being, we said on Sunday night that it would, or Monday morning for you guys, that it was a 2-year $8 million. That ended up turning out to be 2-year $4 million with $4 million of incentives. His cap hit this year is 1.25. You got to be telling me that he can make more out there, right?
Yeah. Or
So
maybe not.
yeah, so a little bit of contract revision history with Isaiah McKenzie. Now that we got the whole offense covered here, Dave,
Saffold?
where do you think we need more of, or if anything? Let's talk about J.D. McKissick a little bit. Planned on signing him. Washington didn't give him a contract.
You guys know I love McKissick.
You do. We
His
do.
hands are too small for Super Bowl rings.
Must be. But he signed with the Bills, told them they were going to sign with the Bills. Washington didn't offer him a contract. As soon as Washington offered him a contract, I don't blame him. You don't want to move.
He had a house there.
Same money, you don't want to move.
He has no one to help him move.
Yeah,
I would help
New
him
City.
move.
he knows his burger spot already. It was a bargain deal to begin with.
McKissick was cool for the fact that
Very cool.
I like offense.
he gives you the backfield passing threat that we haven't had.
They can find
so
it.
it would be cool in that position. But it makes you forget about it real quick when you have O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard's a different kind of threat. We do know that the Bills kind of showed their hand there that we are going to be looking for a different kind of running back that's out there. So just keep your eyes open. If there's anyone out there you guys have in mind, let Bean know because
And
we have to let him know about Jordan Phillips.
Not Philip Lindsay.
No, Philip Lindsay's garbage, but that is a name that I could see happening, actually.
I don't like it. But
I mean, if I had to guess at all, I would probably say a guy like Carlos Hyde would be a Buffalo guy. But that's what you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at the Bills showed their hand at that. So
Carlos Hyde's washed. Couldn't even beat out James Robinson or Travis Etienne.
I think our biggest concern now for the Buffalo Bills is that cornerback position. Letting Levi Wallace go.
On the offense only. On the offense only. Offense only. We'll
The
get there.
biggest need of the offense is a cornerback.
I actually,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I think the biggest need on the offense is still, and I know it's only been 2 days, but we really, really need a backup quarterback still.
Wrong. Let me tell you why.
We need a quarterback
Let me tell you why.
in general.
No. Stop. You got Josh Allen, okay? Do you think this team wins the Super Bowl with Ryan Fitzpatrick as the quarterback?
I know what you're saying.
A little bit of Fitz
The
magic.
season-
This would
Season's
still
over.
be the best roster Fitzpatrick's ever had. I mean,
Listen, the season's over if Josh Allen goes down. You don't need to pump more resources into a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but you need a backup quarterback. You
do.
need another one on the roster.
Logistically for the roster, you do.
Just in case when we're up by 50
Kyle Allen,
points.
a guy that the Bill or people thought that the Bills were going to sign. Kyle Allen signed for $3
Kyle
million
Beach.
today. You're not touching that money.
No.
You're going to get the lowest end you can find and maybe bring him along.
You
Maybe
draft one in the 6th round.
listen to this, okay? Giants, Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Jake Fromm, Mike Glennon, and Davis Webb. They're not taking 5 quarterbacks into the whole season. Keep that one in mind.
I like Davis Webb.
Yeah, we wanted him to be a coach.
Yeah. I would say that the Davis Webb pipe dream might not be over.
No, never.
Or maybe you bring Mike Glennon in, which I don't care. I hate to shut you guys down with this matters, but I don't think it matters.
So what do you think the biggest need is?
Thanks for asking me a question. I believe that it's a wide receiver. Okay, so last year, and I know you want to swap out O.J. Howard for Emmanuel Sanders, and I can understand that. But what are you swapping out Cole Beasley for when you cut him or trade him?
Isaiah McKenzie has a bigger role. Gabe Davis has a bigger role.
Listen, I'm down with that. I don't think McKenzie's role changes to the point where he's a slot receiver. I think his role gets more shine, maybe, but I do think you need to replace a third wide receiver.
1,000%. Yeah.
Well, let me substitute that with this. Do you think that the McCaffrey and Barkley rumors are dead in the water now because of everything that happened today?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done cap-wise.
I always thought that. I didn't think we had any money to have fun
Well,
this
I
free
guess,
agency.
yeah, with Cole Beasley, we'll have a 6.
You'll have 6. So if you cut Star after and give him the June 1st,
Yeah, we talked about
you get
this, yeah.
4.2.
Well, they're 10 million.
That's about 10.3. Saquon Barkley this year is 7.5.
I don't
You need
want
about
Saquon.
2.2 for draft.
So it's still
picks.
possible, you think?
It's possible. I think if you're looking for J.D. McKissick and you're willing to give him that much money, you can find a guy in the draft that's a pass catching running back and just do the same thing there.
Yeah, he's nothing special to where you can't
Yeah,
find
he
him in the
wasn't.
draft.
He wasn't like a generational player.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that Zach Moss is in danger of not making the team.
Good.
I think Zach Moss is going to be that Breida Yeldon role that we've had for years.
If he has a role on this team, is that. I also would like to bounce it back to Devin Singletary's going into last year of his contract. You're Probably saying goodbye to Devin Singletary.
That's an easy re-sign.
It's also an easy let go.
You're not get. Listen, I like Devin Singletary from the moment I saw him in training camp. This guy's sturdy. He plays well. I like him. I think you put your chips on the table here, and you say, I can find a guy that does
tips.
It does. Put your tips in the table today, and you could probably find a guy that does the right things and just mold him after a year sitting behind Devin Singletary, give him an expanded role. Running backs are a dime a dozen. We said it how many times on this show? This is a dime a dozen podcast.
The Diamond Dozen Dave.
We can work on that.
The Dirty Dozen Diamond Daves.
So, yeah, I would go running back here. Cordell Patterson hasn't heard a peep. Maybe he wants to win a little
I
bit.
thought he signed some. No, he didn't. He didn't.
Atlanta's hurting. They got another one.
Yeah, he's not going back there just because he can't do that.
No one can.
Yeah. They might get Deshaun Watson, but that's not our story to break.
Fuck him.
And then I think wide receiver, running back. If you can get a Cordell Patterson, he probably checks a lot of those boxes.
I think a receiver will definitely be done in the draft, like third, fourth.
Without a doubt.
Or first.
I think there's going to be a lot of
Possible.
expectations of Gabe Davis this year, and a lot of pressure is going to be on him to perform.
Listen, if Traylon Burks, who I saw on the bottom line of NFL Network, someone has him going at the 24th pick to Dallas, I think. And the 25th pick, the Bills were taking a cornerback. If Traylon Burks is there at 25, you're taking Traylon Burks just because that's best player available at 25. If Jameson Williams is there at 25, I just know that Bills draft Twitter is going to clamor to have him come on.
Alabama, right?
Yep.
Hurt himself in the bowl game.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to.
Boom, I know all about him. Get him.
But, and then I think a cornerback, if we go over to the defense a little bit, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but I think you draft a corner because I think, and I've said this to everybody that'll listen to me, Levi Wallace, an undrafted free agent. Dane Jackson, 7th round pick. Those are your two guys that you had going for you in the AFC divisional game, and they got you there. From Thanksgiving till then, those were your two cornerbacks. This is a system that you do not need a stellar cornerback in. So if you go and you draft a first, a second, a third round cornerback, he's probably going to succeed because McDermott played safety in college. He's just a defensive back guy. That's what, I mean, Josh Norman, the list goes on and on. You know, Josh Norman with the Panthers and then again with the Bills. Levi Wallace, Taron Johnson, Trey White,
Suri Neal.
Dane Jackson, Suri Neal. You name it. Sean McDermott's been able to make them a starter in this league.
Yeah, I think the main concern, though, is that we don't know if Trey White's ready by week 1. We don't know if Trey White's ready by week 4.
Without a doubt. And I'm all in on Dane Jackson being your number 2 cornerback until you can put this draft pick or Trey White back into the lineup. That's my take.
But you're going to have a rookie day 1 starter, a cornerback, assuming that the Bills don't.
Yeah. Which I don't hate. I don't hate because Trey White was a day 1 starter out of the first round. He was pick 27. If you can find guy 2 picks earlier, and I also said this to Dave when I was walking my dogs, you already are paying a guy big money at the cornerback spot. You don't need to double down. Just get a rookie or a short-term guy, put him in that spot, and you don't need to press it too hard. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you were saying.
Do we have a lot more time or no?
You have about 7 minutes.
The question I was going to ask is how realistic that the Bills switch to a 3-4? Is that something you guys would explore?
Unrealistic. I just don't see that happening whatsoever. I don't think they fit because they don't have 4 linebackers. Saran Neal would probably be after be your 4th.
Well, Dodson's gonna.
If
that's the case, you should bring back Klein. I agree. I was curious.
I respect it. Bringing food for thought.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Guys like Klein are the reason you got to this point, though. Clearing up cash.
Yep.
Listen, so we talk about Tim Settle, who's a 24-year-old defensive tackle, came from Washington. Washington's all up in arms because they think he was the next stud.
Best friends with Tremaine Edmonds.
They went to college at Virginia Tech together. They were young, 1 year apart. I think Tim Settle, if I didn't know what when I didn't know what I didn't know, so yesterday, I thought Tim Settle was going to be a monster. I don't think that he isn't anymore. I think they're just going to be loaded there, finally. Which
took fucking.
If you watch this podcast for the last 2 years, stop putting assets in the defense line. Stop putting assets in the defense line.
Guess what?
Listen, they keep putting assets in the defensive line. I can't fight it anymore. I said to Ryan Talbot when he had him on the show, I can't fight it anymore. They're going to keep putting assets in the defensive line here. It's just how it goes.
Just so sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Listen, Von Miller is going to be the guide for Greg Rousseau and Boogie Basham and AJ Epinesa. What more could you ask for?
Ed Oliver, too.
Ed Oliver, he's going to teach him a thing or two. Now, I love
Cowboy
Jerry
hat.
Hughes. Shut the fuck up. We were at dinner. This guy wouldn't shut the fuck up about cowboy
Everyone's
hats.
going to be wearing a cowboy hat now because this is what Von Miller does. And what does Ed Oliver do?
Ride horses.
Wow.
I want to take my horse.
No, we don't have the rights.
Speaking of rights, I think that you get to this, and I think you see a lot of growth here. I think you see a lot of growth here. The Bills defense will grow. I don't know what you end up doing with Tremaine Edmonds. I think this is a win now move, without a doubt. They're expecting to win the Super Bowl within the next 3 years. They think that's the guy that's going to put you over. Hey, and who knows the AFC West and the Kansas City Chiefs better than Von Miller?
Bars.
I don't get the bars.
Just let me paint you a picture. It's
that
the AFC Championship game. There's 13 seconds
In
left.
Buffalo, because they're going to get the first.
I don't get the bars thing.
Like spitting facts.
Oh, is that a new thing the kids are saying?
Yeah.
They've been saying it. I
13
think it's more our kids.
13 seconds left. But Von Miller's on the field.
I get it. I saw
And
the
he's going
game.
to sack Patrick Mahomes. And we're going to go to the Super
Does
Bowl.
Von Miller kick an onside kick?
Fuck yeah, he does.
Doing a squib kick, but yeah. And then we got Daquan Jones. I think he takes up your Vernon Butler spot as your rotational defensive tackle.
I think Daquan Smith is a lot
Jones.
better than Daquan Jones is a lot better than he's getting credit for. I watched some of his highlights in Carolina, and they were pretty good. That's all I gotta say. Pretty good.
I think the Bills got much better this week.
Fuck JD McKissick.
I don't think they did until about 6 o'clock today. I was a little concerned, and I know it was 2 days into free agency.
It wasn't
One
even
day.
1 day. It was
I
2
was a-
hours.
I was a little concerned because it was all quiet on the Western Front, but then
They said that they came in quietly. I know you guys touched on it earlier. The Bills quietly worked on this all day. Von Miller reached out,
Worker
said, I
bees.
want to work with Josh Allen.
do you think Jordan Phillips was calling all day and getting ignored because Brandon Beane was on the line?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he was like, hey, Brandon, can I come back to the Bills? And he was like, yeah, whatever.
I got rid of the Cardinals. Can I come back?
Hey, Brandon, some guy named Jordan Phillips is on line too. He says he wants to come back and play.
Tell him not in.
Yeah. Tell him whatever he wants. Sure.
Where's it? We're going to get Von Miller.
Now, Dave, I don't know if you mentioned this. You told me this, and I've seen it a couple times since. Sean McVay worked very hard to get Von Miller back.
With all due respect,
Jesus.
I don't think I said that.
No.
sure
You
didn't.
told me in the car. Someone said it on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Von. Yeah,
Yes.
Are you on Twitter?
Can confirm.
no.
He won't. Everyone just sends him screenshots. I don't know why he gets the privilege. He's not on Twitter. Diamond Dave is not on Twitter. Maybe like a burner for him.
We're just going to tweet a whole bunch of like weird shit.
Yeah.
Diamond Dave 69.
Done.
That's smart.
It's probably already taken if I know Twitter.
By me.
So,
So
I mean, if you're Von Miller, wouldn't you stay? And I might have said this in the podcast. I
Say
might
it
have said
again.
it upstairs.
say whatever.
You could
a whole
repeat.
new
You could
show.
repeat
People
as
don't remember
you could
having
repeat as Super Bowl champ, play next to Aaron Donald, or come to Buffalo, and he chose us.
When was the
Anyway.
last time someone picked Los Angeles or picked Buffalo over Los Angeles?
Not the Buffalo Braves.
I think they went somewhere else.
Another quick thing,
Let it happen.
quick banger before we go.
Thanks, Snyder.
Week 1 is definitely penciled in to be Bills Rams,
I
right?
had that right here.
See, I don't need a pad of paper; it's all up here.
Smart guy.
Is that realistic? You think?
I think it's a lock.
Yeah. No. Not a lot, but
Well, I mean,
realistic.
it could because
It's either that-
Is there any team in the NFC West that you want to see them play Week 1?
It's Denver. It's either them or Denver. Russell Wilson, former NFC West.
I think Josh Allen at this point is just bigger than Russell Wilson.
I agree.
bigger than life.
I think that Russell Wilson is falling off and he's not as good. And I know he was hurt last year, but the numbers say that he was not as good.
Some dickhead for like week 4 is going to be like, "Oh my god, you're so wrong," and then week 9 will come along
because second
and then
half of the season, Russell Wilson is
garbage.
a real thing. Clip that. Put it in your damn trophy case until week 9 and then take it out.
Russell Wilson's garbage?
Yep.
Garbage.
Getting on that train?
No.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back
He's
Sunday
my
night.
fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, do you think we'll see another couple moves before that Sunday?
I hope so.
Jarvis Landry.
I don't think we'll see any big moves. I think we'll see guys come back to the Bills. I could see Jerry Hughes come back.
Very cheap.
Would love to.
What do you guys think?
Maybe Darryl Williams.
Do we have 2 minutes?
Yeah.
You guys think Deshaun Watson goes to Atlanta?
Don't care.
I'm thinking Cleveland. If not, Baker Mayfield's an idiot.
I don't think he's going to Cleveland, but I think Cleveland's done with him.
Then what does Cleveland do?
Suck.
They're moving on either way, so I don't think it matters.
If we have time, Mr. Trubisky in Pittsburgh going to be good? Is he going to start?
I can live with it.
He'll start.
That's where I thought. I know some thought that he might come back to Buffalo, but I really thought he was always going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or an Indianapolis Colt.
I did. Juju Smith, Buffalo.
No.
If anything, I'd like to kick the tires on Allen Robinson for like 6 years. Or 1 year, $6 million, excuse me.
Any running backs out there you want to see the Bills go after?
Patterson.
0. I would love 0.
Cordell
running backs.
Patterson.
Rashard Penny?
No. If I honestly would I would delete this episode of Rashard Penny signs with the Bills. I hate him. I hate Rashard Penny.
How would you take it on us?
I hate Rashard Penny.
Why?
He doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's one button.
Wrong. Hit him with it, Dave.
Wrong.
And that is Mad Men
Yeah,
Sport.
show me where.